Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to my last exercise with Exos here at Autodesk. Before we get into the circuit, I just want to thank you all so much for your support and joining in these classes and watching the recordings on YouTube. It does not go unnoticed, and I appreciate all of you. And again, thank you all so much for joining me throughout the last 4 years on Zoom. So, little bittersweet moment here, but I got our workout plan. We're going to go out with a bang today. So, we're going to do 45-15 today. We're going to do 3 rounds, but we're going to do each movement all at once. So, we're going to start off with push-ups. We're going to do 3 rounds of push-ups back to back to back, and then we're going to move on. So, I'm going to go real quick through demos. So we're starting off, we're going to do push-ups with a plank tap. So you can do this a few ways. You can do your push-up, and you can do 1 push-up, 2 taps. You can do 1 push-up, 1 tap, whatever feels good for you today. But like I said, we're going to do all of those at once. We're going to do push-up, rest, push-up, rest, push-up, rest, next movement. So after that, we're going to do plank knee to elbow. So you can either do same side or opposite side. Again, whatever feels good for you today. And then we're going to move into our lower body. So we're going to go ahead and stand up after that. And we're going to do the 3-second eccentric squats with a pulse at the bottom. So what that's going to look like here, we're going to have our feet hip width apart. We're going to lower down 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 1 pulse, and we're going to stand up. So that is our first lower body movement. And then we're going to do a curtsy lunge with a squat in between. So we're going to do a step back, behind, and diagonal. Hips are forward, into our curtsy lunge, into our squat, and back into our curtsy lunge. So that is that. And then for our last 2 movements, we're going to do a little bit more cardio style. So the first one is a crab walk toe touch. I know we did these a couple weeks ago. Not full on cardio, but we're going to use our arms a little bit more and our core. And the better we get, the faster we go. So that's where that cardio will come in. We're going to have our feet behind us. Oh, sorry, our feet in front of us, hands behind. Butt is off the ground. We're putting all of our weight into one of our feet and one of our arms. Accidentally kicking up, touching our opposite toe. So again, the goal is to kind of go a little faster as we go through. And then last and not least, this one is definitely the hardest one. So we're going to do mountain climbers and frog jumps. So for that, put my mat over here. We're going to actually, I don't want the mat at all because that's going to slide. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do 4 mountain climbers. That is on each leg. So we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to jump up. 1, 2. You can even lift your hands up if that feels good. 3, and 1 more, and it's 4. So we're going to alternate between those 2. So that's going to be definitely the hardest one for today. So that is our workout. I'm already getting hot in here. We're going to go ahead and get warmed up real quick here, starting with the world's greatest stretch. So coming to the top of our space, we're going to go ahead and interlace our fingers, grabbing onto one of our knees, pulling towards our chest. And we're going to exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Oops. Back leg stays nice and straight. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, opening up towards the ceiling, looking past our hand, thumb is facing behind us. And let's go ahead and exhale, plant our hand outside of our front foot, bringing our back foot a little bit closer, pushing our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And we're going to go ahead and exhale. Bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. Perfect. All right. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlacing our other fingers, grabbing towards our other knee, pulling towards our chest. And my goodness, my balance is not there. We're going to exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Back leg stays nice and straight. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Really opening up our hips here. We're going to go ahead and exhale, opening up towards the ceiling, looking past our hand, thumb is facing behind us. And we're going to exhale, plant outside of our front foot. Bring our back a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And when we're ready, we're going to go ahead and exhale. Bring our feet together. Push the ground away and standing on up. Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of plank to pike here. Put my mat back because I want that. So when you're ready, making your way onto the ground on your hands and toes. And when you're ready, exhale, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to go ahead and pedal our heels. Let's do one breath. Exhale and switch our feet. Exhale, switch again. And let's switch one more time. And let's go ahead, push both our heels into the ground, poke our head in between our arms. And come back down to our plank. We're going to do 3 quick ones here coming up. And down. We got 2 more coming up. And down. And last one coming up. And then we can go ahead back to our plank and gently bringing your knees down to the ground. We are ready to rock and roll. So we're getting started. We have push up with a plank tap. We're doing all 3 of those at once. I'm going to get the timer started here in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're on the ground. You can either, like I said earlier, hands and knees or hands and toes. Regardless of what we're doing, we're screwing our hands into the ground so our upper back is nice and flat. We're bringing our butt to our belly button. So even before we get either on our knees or toes, if we're in this tabletop, belly button's coming up, core coming together. We are ready to rock and roll. So coming down, elbows are nice and tight. Making sure that as we finish our push-up, our hands are kind of at the bottom of our ribs here. We're not up here. We don't want to shrug our shoulders up. We want to be nice and low here. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. We're doing that again. So we're going to go ahead, do that again when we're ready. 3, 2, 1. So sticking with our push-ups. So I figured it's my last class here. Might as well switch it up a little bit. We have not done any classes like this virtually. I know I did 1 or 2 like this in our in-person boot camp where we do all that at one time. So I figured might as well try it out here. So we're doing 3 rounds of push-ups and then we'll move on. So this is our second one. And staying nice and tight with our hands. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, I haven't done push-ups in like 2 weeks. A little rusty here. All right, last round of push-ups here. 3, 2, 1. That is also why I did 45, 15 today. Instead of doing 50 seconds and 10 of rest, because we're just really taxing everything all at once before we move on. So our upper body is going to be nice and tired by the time we get to our legs, and that is fine. Great job. We're finishing strong here. You know, it's a lot. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, we're done with push-ups. Check it out, our box. Next up, we have plank knee to elbow. And we're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. I might regret this in a second because my wrists are already feeling a little tight. All right, let's go ahead and reset. So want to make sure, again, step 1, screwing our hands into the ground. We want to make sure that as we're looking out in our plank position, our chin is not all the way down to our chest. We're looking out, so it's like we have a tennis ball underneath our chin. Don't let that tennis ball fall, but we also don't want to crush it too much. So we're here. That's our starting position. Exhale. Bringing our knee in with our core. 3, 2, 1. All right. 1 down, 2 to go. I just really had to put these in here because it's been a while and I don't really like these. 3, 2, 1. Just really just going out on a high note here. Sometimes we got to do the things we don't like. And that's how we get better at the things we don't like, but also how we garner more mental strength and fortitude. So I also feel like there's a lot of things I don't like to do by myself, but I will do in a class. Example A, push-ups. Example B, this movement. But it is such a good core and shoulder movement, which is why I do like it. It's just hard and I'm not great at it. 3, 2, 1. But sometimes we just got to do the things we don't like so we can get better at them. Sometimes we will just never like them. All right, last round of this. 3, 2, 1. Finishing strong. And then after this, we are going to be on to our lower body. We will be back for upper body later with our mountain climbers and frog jumps. So we get a little break and then we'll be back at the end. You notice, yes, it's my last class, and no, I did not put burpees on there. So you're welcome. Figured we'd do something else that's different, but just as difficult. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. We are done with our upper body. So next up, we have 3-second eccentric squats with a pulse at the bottom. So I'm gonna move my mat away because we don't need it. 3, 2, 1. Actually, I want that back. Okay. So regular squats here, but we're just lowering nice and slow. So making sure our checklist here, we're squeezing our orange between our shoulder blades, chest is open, pelvis is tucked. So we're not arching our back, we're bringing our butt to our belly button, squeezing our core together. After all that's set, we are coming down 1, 2, 3, 1 pulse, and coming back up. So really making sure we're pushing through our heel, big toe, little toe as we stand up so we activate our glutes. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right. 2 more of those. And then we're going to do Kurt's lunges. All right. 3, 2, 1. I feel like it's been a while also since we've done an eccentric squat. And that's always good to increase our time under tension, make things a little bit more challenging as we are not adding any weight. So as always, we can always make movements harder by increasing our tempo. So doing like 3 seconds down, you can even do 3 seconds up. That's going to make things more challenging. Increasing time or reps. So if, moving up to like a minute of squats. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, we got one more set of that, and then we're moving on. We're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. All right, last set of these. But yeah, that's basically, you can always make things more challenging by increasing your load or the tension or your reps or the time. If you don't have any weight, that's kind of, it would be time and tempo that will really help increase, as well as reps or even sets. So if you want to make it even more challenging, maybe we do 4 rounds of this instead of 3, right? So mixing up that way can always make things a little bit more challenging for yourself. Great job. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. Next up, curtsy lunges with a squat in between. We're gonna do 3 of those and then be on to our more cardio style movements. 3, 2, 1. All right, so curtsy lunges, starting with whichever side you would like. Opposite leg goes back, behind, and diagonal. Hips, headlights on our hips are blinding the camera. So we don't want to blind over here. We want to be turned. That's going to help our core strength as well. Coming down, pushing through our whole foot, so we use our glutes. Coming down into our squat in the middle. Again, back, behind, diagonal, hips forward. Knee comes forward, our chest stays over our front leg, and then back to the middle again. So we're doing double time on the squats here. That's okay. It's gonna be 3, 2, 1. We're doing single leg and double leg things in here. I know I have not been able to do that much single leg movements because of my tailbone, but I think I'm back. 3, 2, 1. Round 2 here. Same thing. I'm gonna say that and then watch, it's gonna like not feel very good later. But I have been trying to avoid single leg movements so I can heal. But this is the best curtsy lunges have felt since my injury. So that is a great sign. I've tried to do them before, even with weight. Was not ready. But keep up the good work here. Keep pushing. Using your glutes. That curtsy lunge is a great way to build the glute strength, especially one leg at a time. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, last round. Coming on up, and then we're gonna be back on the ground to finish out the workout today. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Last round. Last round, best round. Just gonna use this way for a second. And to do that last round, I forgot. Core is engaged. Everything for our squat. Our torso is the same. We're coming back. Chest is forward. If you notice, I'm not stepping back super far, so that way it can keep my weight in my front leg. So finding that distance for you, it's gonna look different for everyone because we all have different sizes, right? We're all different heights. Our femur, like our femurs and our bones, different insertions for the muscles. 3, 2, 1. But that's the general position we want to be in. Okay, done with those. Last 2 movements. Crab walk, toe touches. 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, I should have left my mat there. So starting off on the ground, feet flat on the ground. Hands are behind us. And then activate our core. So zip our core up. Glutes are slightly off the ground, but pelvis is tucked. Exhale, kicking up. So I know for me, especially right now, I'm really feeling that I'm using my hands a lot for this. Don't be afraid to shift your weight a little bit more forward. Use your legs. This is just as much for our legs as it is for our arms. because it is for our core. So it's total body movement here. So 3, 2, 1. All right. I still got to be careful the way I sit down there. All right. 1 down, 2 to go. And then I save the hardest movement for last. 3, 2, 1. So if you are feeling that in your wrists, one thing you can do is shift your weight so that way it's not fully on the base of your palm. So shifting your weight more to the upper part of your palm, and that will help evenly distribute your weight. You also can make a fist and put your fist on the ground just like that. Or if you have dumbbells, you can hold on to your dumbbells. So those are the ways that you can kind of combat that wrist tension you might be feeling after all the upper body stuff we already did. So that coupled with putting more weight in your feet, 3, 2, 1, that will help with that. All right, last round. Now we're gonna do more stuff on our hands. I didn't think that through. 3, 2, 1. Hindsight is always 2020. Should have alternated our upper and lower body things, but that's okay. We're finishing strong. Great job. This is a lot of balance going on here, but if we can go faster, speed it up here. Last round, best round. Finish strong here. This is going to seem easy compared to what we're going to do next. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement here, we have mountain climbers. So 4 mountain climbers, 4 frog jumps. 3, 2, 1. My glasses down, so move a little closer so I can see the time. Okay, mountain climbers. Drawing your hands into the ground. Belly button to your spine, butt to belly button as well. So everything's nice and tight. We're doing 4 mountain climbers on each leg. So what does that look like? It looks like this one. 3, 4. Okay, so we're doing 4. And then we're doing 4 frog jumps. So when you're ready, I feel like I'm already. You're jumping to the outside of your hands. So you can lift your hands up too if that feels good, but you want to have your legs wide. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. 1 down, 2 to go. But you want to have your hands here so they're inside, so your knees are out. So it's gonna make it a little bit more comfortable. All right, round 2 here. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna start with these. You also can lift your hands off the ground. Might make it a little bit easier for you. I know I like to do that a little bit more. 4 and 4. Alternating between the 2. Great job. If you need to take a second, take a second. Y'all know me. I always say, if you need a break, go 1, 2, 3, right back into it. 2, 3, 4. I know sometimes for me too, I need to reset my hands so my back is nice and flat. You need to do that too. Do that. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Last round. Last thing, best set right here. Last set, best set. Last exercise, Exos round with Jazzy. 3, 2, 1. I'm just continuing off of my last round. I only did 3 hops. Okay. I knew this one was going to be tough, but for some reason I said, this sounds fun. Sounds like a great way to go out. Not really, but that's okay. Great job. Finish strong here, y'all. 4 and 4. Oof. Not been working that much feel like my cardio is non-existent. 3, 2, 1. That gonna be it for us today. Mark says exhale. So great job. Grab a sip of water if you need it. And let's go ahead and make your way onto the ground. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do some child's pose. I feel like I really need to take that short breath after that. So when you're ready, making your way onto the ground on your hands and knees. And when you're ready, your knees are going to come a little bit wider than hip width. Sinking your hips back, walk your hands forward, forehead, chin, or cheek to the mat or ground. And we're going to do a few deep breaths here. So I want us to really inhale in through our nose into our bellies. And exhaling, thawing away our tension. I want us to really focus on making our exhales longer than our inhales so we can really calm our bodies down, calm our mind down, and bring our heart rates down to a resting level where we can go and eat or get back to work, whatever we need to do, but in a less stressed state. So and let's go ahead and do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, when we're ready, we can gently put more weight into our hands and back to our knees. And feel free to stay on the mat like that, or on the ground, or you can return to a seated, kneeling, or standing position. But that is going to be all the time I have for us today. So as I said real quick before y'all all hopped in, but today is my last class. This is my last class here. My last full day working is tomorrow. So the next few weeks, you all are going to have Renee subbing my Wednesday, Thursday classes. So she'll be doing that for y'all. So thank you so much